Thank you. My name is Dan Borchik, and I'm a first year MBA and Aeroastro Engineering student at MIT. It is my pleasure to introduce our presentation, Driving Inclusion of Women in Sports, Tools and Solutions to Enable Impact, brought to you by Wasserman. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our speakers, Amy Johnson, Director, Global Insights and Capabilities at Wasserman, and Laura Waters-Brown, Senior Manager, The Collective.
Thanks, Dan. We are so glad to be here and so fortunate and happy to be a part of this amazing opportunity. So thank you first and foremost for having us. We are from Wasserman. I'm Laura Waters-Brown.
And I'm Amy Johnson, and we are going to present to you all of the ways that women are impacting sports and the ways that we're going to harness that power.
So to jump things off and get right into it, we all know that there is a problem when it comes to gender equity, specifically in sports and business. Women make 80 cents on the dollar in comparison to men in 2021. The median annual income of a woman is $10,000 less than that of her equivalent male counterparts. And for every 100 men, only 79 women are promoted to managerial positions. So we clearly know that there is a problem. And here at Wasserman at the Collective, we're looking to solve that. And so what we've done is we have created a new arm of our business, the Collective. We've been doing this work. We are quite literally here to create change and support of equity and fairness for women. And why us? We've been doing this for 20 years. This isn't our first rodeo. We're not just jumping into this, but we've actually been doing this work with our athletes, with our brands and properties. And we are here and committed to making change in this space. And the reason why we've done this work to date is because women are an important yet underserved consumer, which we don't understand why that would be when women are driving the economy, quite literally. Women have financial power. Women drive 85% of all household spend. Less than 70% of women in the US are investing money for retirement, but 2/3 of the wealth in the US will be owned by women by 2030. That's right around the corner. It's less than 10 years. However, 91% of women are looking to spend money with brands that truly understand them and care about the things that are important. They want to do the right thing, yet no one is directly marketing to them. No one is taking the time to say, what does the data tell us about these women and what they want?
Right. And that's kind of where we come in, is all of those metrics that Laura just pointed out, we're all individually sourced by different either academia locations or just different research firms. So what we wanted to do was kind of find where all of these numbers were coming from and build a community around it to make sure that not only are we diversifying our outlook and our outreach, but making sure that no one's duplicating those efforts. So what we wanted to do was bring together the next generation of women in this area. So that's where we're getting the Gen Z women to come in and do research with us and giving them a place to feel valued and heard. And that's where we're trying to get to make sure that everything is equitable and we actually are addressing the economy that's out there based on all those factors that we just talked about.
And see, here's the thing, is that through the research we've done to date and understanding the Gen Z and millennial women, we understand that these two groups are the new power players, driving most of our economic future. And they are not like previous generations. They don't have a trust for the establishment that we're leaving them. They don't have a trust right now in the government. They don't believe that corporations and industry, which have been driving marketing dollars and marketing campaigns to date, have their best interests at heart. They are truly looking to spend money with companies that will take the time to just listen to them and to say, we hear you, we see you, and we value the things that you value, and we're going to act like that. And so we have to future-proof this world for women. And how do we do that?
We're building that community, Laura. So basically what the collective has done is kind of put together that think tank. So where we had all those different academia places putting together this research, we're now putting together and unionizing those efforts of the next generation and the current generation. So the collective network is also the other arm of the collective of industry women to come together in a place where we can talk about what is happening in the world around us, as well as in the industry that we're facing. So not only are we taking the current generation, but we're also including the next generation in our research and our findings, and building out this think tank where we can all discuss it and affect change.
And so we've broken it out, as Amy mentioned, to a couple of different groups within the overall think tank, right? So we've got the collective Next Gen, which is a group of young women in the sports industry that are currently in undergrad or graduate institutions across the world. Monthly, they'll come together virtually via Zoom in this virtual world that we're in, and they'll discuss topics. They'll hear from top industry professionals that are doing the work, that are women that are leading this industry, and just have advice for this next generation. The following 2 weeks, that same group will come together for specific networking opportunities. Those networking opportunities are looking to build that community so that when they do go out into the world, when they do go out to enact change, that they have a group of collective women that believe in what they believe in and understand what the mission is and where the goal is. The collective think tank, which is really a great aspect of our overall network, is literally a global consortium of today's greatest academic minds and industry leaders. We're focused on research. We are focused on solution-based strategies, and we're partnered with a number of schools right now. We've added another 9 to 12 schools in 2021 alone, and are looking to grow that and expand that as we continue, with the focus of creating and exploring various topics that address women inequities in sport and entertainment, again, through data and research. And so this group of amazing professors are spitting out op-eds, we're spitting out white papers, we're spitting out research data that is going to change this industry. And we're doing that all by putting everything and everyone, connecting people, connecting everyone in one space so that we can learn from each other, so that we can harness our power together to effectively make change.
Yeah, the think tank is coming together in order to kind of buck the norms that we have within our industry. Like, hey, women don't want to just wear pink jerseys. Did you know that? We actually want to wear the colors of our team. That's a thing that's out there. And although we've known it and we've said it, without showing this data and showing this research, it's hard to affect change, because then it's just an idea, and it forces you to look at your business a little bit different. Even though we all know we don't want to wear pink, I want to wear orange. I'm a Giants fan. Give me some orange stuff, put it in my size, I'll buy it for you. But those are the things that we're trying to change just by showing you research that says, here's what it is. This is what it's actually saying, rather than I feel like this is right. Here are the numbers that show you that it's right.
And we're doing this all, obviously we know that to this point, we know that there was a problem. As Amy mentioned, we've known for years that there is a difference between men and women in the workforce, men and women in sports, in the business and the industry. We've known that there was an issue. And so we decided to do something about it. Okay, so we saw there was an issue. We created the collective. We did the research. We did the insights. We asked around to see who was doing what, and realized at that point in time that a lot of the industry professionals and people who were doing the academic research weren't connecting with each other. And so we did something about that. We collected or created the think tank. And we've created the think tank with the sole purpose of bringing everyone together to bring that research in so that we're tackling this global issue together, so that we can truly enact change. And when we did that in the process, we realized that there's not one specific location that you can go to for all of this data, right? So we've collected and curated all of this amazing data out there, and no one can find it. And so along with our pattern of identifying an issue or a problem and created a solution, we've decided to create a centralized data repository that will hold all of this amazing research that our academic professors and partners are doing, that will hold all of the amazing insights, that will hold all of these op-eds, the white papers, the reports, all of it in one centralized location so that can easily be accessed, so that we can get this data out there to make change.
Yes, and we've decided to call it the repository. So the repository is our own infrastructure that we have built out in a way to make it a little bit more easier to read than through a box folder. It's now a centralized location where you can log into something that you can trust the data that's there, because we're also doing fact checking and validation anytime someone wants to upload a new version of a research paper, a new metric, a new data point, and we're going to make it super easy to reach through. So you'll be able to look through all of the different pieces of data through either scorecards of these little bites of information that come from the research that's in there, or we're going to give you the ability to upload your own, search for your own research. And if it's not there, we'll also be able to show you what the cycle through will be, because if it's not there, then it goes to our research teams and we can go then source people to go find that data for you. So this is now going to be the inception of what our repository is going to look like. And since it's the first year that we've built out the repository, all of these metrics are now currently static, but over the years, we're going to allow these to be benchmarked. So not only can you come in and find current metrics of what's happening, we're also going to build out the trends of where it's going. So rather than just being reactive, we can be predictive and try to figure out how the market's going to change based on information that's coming into it.
And this repository is such an exciting evolution out of the collective, out of think tank, out of Wasserman, because to Amy's point, it's going to hold all of this amazing data, and it's going to hold all of this amazing information. Oh, and by the way, if you have a report or you have data that you've collected yourself, you have an opportunity to upload it into the repository, tag some stats and facts, and then those stats and facts become part of this layout. And so this is not something that we are saying we are going to monopolize and only be the ones contributing. We are truly attacking this issue from all angles. And we understand that it's going to take a village. It's going to take everyone pitching in and helping. And so we're making this as user-friendly as possible so that when you come in here, whether you are a researcher or if you are on the consumer side of marketing and you're just looking to take a screenshot of a data point so you can put it in a PowerPoint to flip over to your boss, we're gonna make that easily accessible for you and make that a possibility. And so that's why we're really, really excited about the repository, and we can't wait to display that to the public coming up soon. So definitely be on the lookout for that, but we are really excited for that.
Yeah, and now that we have this repository and we know the why, and we know that the industry is moving in a different direction, what does that mean? Now we need to make a change. So basically what that's showing us is there can't be change without a benchmark. There can't be change without knowing what you want to change into. Change is a big hot topic word at the moment, but if you don't know what that is and what it means to your company or your brand, that's where we're coming in to also help. So what we've kind of built out are an array of tools to allow you to figure out where you're starting from and where you need to get to. So here's part of the way that we're going to do that. The tools that we have are the gender equity toolkit, which kind of gives you like a scorecard of where you rank in a whole bunch of different pieces to it. The brand citizenship compass is actually going to let you know if your brand and your company should be in that conversation. So those are the types of pieces of if there's an issue that's out there, does your brand belong in that discussion, or should you stay out and wait for what your brand more aligns to? So those are some ways that we're trying to build out a better metric and a baseline for your company to understand where to go.
And that's a really important point, Amy, that you mentioned is not every sandbox, you don't need to be playing in every single sandbox. And so what we want to do is be a true partner with organizations and brands and properties and our athletes and say, okay, if this is a sandbox that you're interested in, let us quantitatively evaluate that and let us see if that's a space, one, that you should even play in, or two, can we approach it from a different angle? And so one of those tools that we've been able to create in addition to the repository is this amazing scorecard.
So this scorecard actually gives you metrics behind where you fall within an array of different categories. And at this point, it's basically trying to put social objectives into business metrics. And by doing that, you're able to show why it's not only right to do these things, but how it also affects your bottom line. So we've shown already a whole bunch of different metrics that say women are the future, women have the buying power, but where in these audiences and where are you amplifying that voice to connect to that audience that you're trying to get to? And so these scorecards can be completely objective to what your brand wants to do, but also it can be customized. If there's other pieces that you would like to see your brand get into, we can add new columns and different metrics, and we can weight it, and we can also change the weighting of all of these factors. If you can see this scorecard, they're all pretty much almost equal in what their weighting system is, but we can ramp up or ramp down whichever way that your company wants to affect change. So it's benchmarking as well as figuring out what's important to your brand without losing that voice and that individuality that you want to have within the market. Because
the realization is that we all know that equity at all facets is the right thing to do. That part of it is not new. What we are focused on and what we are committed to is providing the data and to provide the valuation to organizations to say, no, this is worth you're investing. This is worth you not doing it like you've been doing for the past umpteen years, because although this may be working for you right now, when that Gen Z millennial woman comes into her financial power, that is inevitable because that's what the data tells us, you're going to be SOL. You're not going to be part of the conversation anymore. You're going to still be putting out pink bedazzled jerseys when no one wants that. And so let us help you. And again, we're not trying to be the only one in this game. We truly want to help enact change. And the only way to do that is to make things like this scorecard available to companies and organizations to use on their own, or we are happy to come in and help you do that because you need an objective eye. We all know we grade ourselves a little easier than when somebody else does it. And so we're available and happy to do that. But we are regularly working with our partners to evaluate where they're sitting, where they want to go, how do we get them there and provide those strategies, again, based in data. And we're trying to do that based, take all of those qualitative data points, the social justice data points, and prove them with numbers. What is the value of the woman consumer? And we're getting there because in realization, this thing is happening, whether your company is ready or not. Mm-hmm. It's happening, and we're here to help.
Yeah, I mean, if we can leave you with anything today, it's that this is already happening. This is not a trend that we're projecting. It's not the future. It's happening right now. So even though we started off this presentation with metrics of how women have a slightly less advantage financially at the moment, we're still going out there and spending a whole bunch of money for you guys. So It's no longer going to be a let's plan for the future, but let's get in there right now. So with all of these different pieces of education and purchasing power, it's now time to empower that consumer and actually talk to them. And we're here to help do whatever is necessary to make sure that you guys are not only capturing the equity that comes from different marketing strategies, but also the bottom dollar that is going to help your business grow.
At the end of the day, women are taking over, and we're doing that with our economic power.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your time today. We truly appreciate you and appreciate you listening.
Thank you so much. Can't wait to hear from you.